Roblox tried to hide this update. From making everything on the platform way more expensive once again, to maybe ruining 2D clothing forever. This is genuinely the worst update I've talked about in a while, and Roblox is trying to cover it all up. But before I get into how this update could even impact your avatar, my friend Ren told me we couldn't surpass him in subscribers. So let's prove him fucking wrong and subscribe to the channel. Now, before we're going to talk about the update that could potentially ruin 2D clothing, and will most likely also impact the future of your avatar, I first want to talk about how Roblox tried to cover this up, or rather which update they used to cover this up. Because yes, you heard me right, Roblox used another update to try and cover up this horrible update. Okay, that sounds a bit confusing, let me explain. What Roblox did is they first released bad update, and then right after that they released good update. So that when people talk about the newest update, they talk about the good update and they ignore the bad update. But I'm not gonna let that happen. No, we are gonna talk about the bad update too. But before we talk about the bad update that could potentially ruin the future of your avatar, I first want to talk about the good update they used to cover up the bad update. The good update is called the Ship and Fair Competitive Games with Server Authority. Now honestly, I have no idea what those words mean, but I do know what the update adds to the game, which I think is most important. So there's a bunch of difficult game development talk, but what it basically comes down to is that the server you play on is gonna be more important for the physics in that specific server, which basically means that collisions will be more realistic in the game. General physics will also be way better, but most importantly, and this is the best part by far, it basically stops every single fly hack and also every single glitch that makes it so you move away you shouldn't be moving. So no more clipping through walls or flying in the air or jumping super high. This update should be preventing all of that in most servers from now on, which is just amazing. How the update does this is that when the server notices someone is moving away they shouldn't be moving, they just instantly send him back to the place where he was supposed to be. Now, although this update is actually pretty good, sadly it was used to cover up a way worse one. A update that could potentially ruin the future of your avatar. An update that genuinely puts 2D clothing at risk of going into extinction. Now, the update has a very long name and it will most definitely not be reading that out. But what this update essentially does is it f***s 2D clothing incredibly hard. In fact, 2D clothing is being so hard by this update, it wouldn't even surprise me if Bunny Blue'd feel bad for 2D clothing at this point. Now let's talk about how exactly this update 2D clothing. Because this update makes it way harder for anybody on the platform to make 2D clothing. So let's go over the hurdles someone would have to go over to publish 2D clothing on the platform. Not even selling it, just publishing it on the platform, because those are two different things. And don't worry, they completely messed with anybody who wanted to sell their clothing too, but we'll talk about that in a bit. Because that is a way bigger issue and that's gonna even affect you if you do not make 2D clothing. So what do you now have to do if you just want to publish a 2D clothing item onto Roblox? So firstly, you have to be age verified, because of course for everything on Roblox you have to be age verified nowadays. And no, a simple face scan isn't gonna cut it this time. Roblox must know your full government name. You need to ID verify to publish something as simple as a green t-shirt on the platform. It's mental. But of course Roblox thinks that having your full government name isn't good enough. No, they also want to squeeze every single penny out of you. Because to upload one single 2D clothing item, you're gonna have to pay 200 Robux per item. Now that's insane. Mind you, if you go to the Roblox marketplace now and search up 2D clothing, chances are most of the clothing will be under 50 Robux to buy. And just to publish it on the platform now, not even sell these items, but just publish them, you're gonna have to pay 200 Robux. But if you actually want to sell these items, if you want to sell the items you just published for this insane price, it gets so much worse. Because on top of all the publishing stuff you just paid and did, you now also have to do these things just to sell the items. So firstly, it requires the same ID verification and also a two-step verification, which is basically another level, another layer on top of the verification you just did. But then after that, you're gonna have to pay way more just to publish it, because you also have to have a premium or plus subscription to Roblox. And you can't just have this premium or plus subscription when you just want to sell the item. No, you need to maintain the subscription the whole time that you want this thing to be on sale. So you can't just put it on sale and have the subscription go away. You need to keep the subscription going. But on top of that, on top of everything you're already paying to publish this basic ass 2D item, you're gonna have to pay a fee starting at 600 Robux. And yes, I said starting at. Based on the item that you're selling, you might have to pay more than 600 Robux to sell a 2D clothing item. Again, usually these things cost not even 100 Robux. Why would you pay 700 Robux just to sell it? Genuinely, with these prices, nobody is gonna be making 2D clothing items anymore, because you're just not making positive returns, which basically is gonna cause the extinction of any 2D clothing item. Because if nobody nobody makes them, then nobody can buy them, because there's nothing to buy. I know, this video genuinely has me tweaking, because these new rules, they're just insane. Roblox does state that they're not slowly trying to remove 2D clothing from the platform, but it looks like they are doing that. This is exactly what someone would do if they were trying to slowly remove 2D clothing items from the platform. So I just listened to the whole video again, and it is basically me tweaking the fuck out. I'm sorry about that. Although this video looks more like a rant than new stuff, I still hope you enjoyed it, and have a good rest of your day. Peace, peace.